What up, you lab rats? This is episode number 45, and today we're talking about audience building. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the lab. My name is Megan.
Yeah, I'm Kevin.
And let's get in the lab. All right, guys. So thank you for spending some time with us this morning on this. Well, we're recording on Tuesday. That means we were already off and maybe landed in Maui on Wednesday. Woohoo! I was thinking like, I don't think I'm excited enough about going to Maui. And then it didn't really hit me because I think I was like in working mode, just thinking
We're always in working mode, but still.
But I don't think, I don't think I was as excited. Maybe because we've been there like twice.
Doesn't matter. I'm always excited.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. We're going to be swimming with turtles. Maybe
probably see whales.
Some whales. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
How are you going to see whales?
Well, they're everywhere. Oh. They're traveling through Hawaii right now.
They're just there.
Migrating.
All right. So, okay, guys, we have some questions to answer today. We also have a lot of announcements that I want to make for you guys. But, we're going to be talking about audience building. But let's first start off with the couples 1, 2, 3 tag. Let's bring that back.
All right.
So where is it here?
So where do you consider a good place for a couple to be romantic? I say
what's romantic?
Probably decorate your home and make it look nice and prepare something.
Let's see. You know how to really like turn me on is like when you help me around the house. Or you throw away the trash. I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. That's what turns me on. It's like if you help me around the house and you help me in my life. For me, that's romantic.
It's saying good places.
Oh, good place. Yeah, in the kitchen. In the kitchen is the best place. Where do you consider
good places for a couple to be romantic?
I think in the kitchen. I think in the kitchen is super sexy. Like if you cook something at home, because I'm a big fan of like cooking at home now. Yeah. And like I feel when I cook, like it's like a part of me goes into that cooking a little bit because I'm like experimenting, whatever. And then at the end, when I'm done cooking, I'm like, oh, I hope you like it, right?
Yeah.
That's I think that's kind of romantic, and you can kind of share in that. You created something, and then that whoever's eating that food, they get to partake in that, and like that's just love, right? Food is love.
I have to agree. Yeah, the kitchen.
The kitchen. I would say the kitchen.
Yeah, I think we visit the kitchen a lot. So.
We live in the kitchen.
Just because the living room is just right next to it.
We live in the kitchen. I feel like I'm always in there. Okay, so let's start off with some announcements. So for me, on my end, since the Lab Rat Dailies has been going on, the Daily Show and the In-Between Show, I've seen a really cool kind of spike in engagement from people leaving like longer comments and engaging with me, and I think that's really cool because that was the point of doing the daily content, was to establish more of a deeper connection with people who watch the show. So I really appreciate that, guys. So keep watching the dailies, keep interacting with me. I love that. But there's a couple of things that kind of spurned from that of me doing so much more podcasting. And one of that is, one of those things is that somebody had approached me. I think I mentioned it on the Lab Rat Dailies for somebody to join their podcast network. So now I'm creating content for a show called The Morning Wood. Morning Wood. WOULD. Okay. So it's kind of like a pun. I guess the creators over there for this podcast network, they're pretty sarcastic, funny guys, loose guys. They come from like the comic book world, geekdom, that kind of thing. So that's speaking my language. So the first episode, which is probably going to air this week, and once I get the link, I'll share it in the description. But I basically had total creative freedom. So what I did is like I related my gaming experiences on Far Cry to like life and business.
Okay.
So it was.
I'm not familiar with Far Cry enough.
So if you guys are gamers, Far Cry is a game on a PS4 or one of the gaming consoles. Anyway, I tried to kind of combine two of my loves, which is like video games and business. So that came about, and then I was approached by by the members of Podcast Movement to join and become a member of the Academy of Podcasters.
Oh, cool.
That's a really great opportunity. So the Academy of Podcasters, which is going to be kind of like, think of it as the Oscars of the podcasting world, right? They're going to have a whole thing, like a red carpet thing down in Dallas. It's going to be super sweet. And it follows after the Podcast Movement, which is in Fort Worth, in Texas, right? So, not Dallas, sorry, Fort Worth. So now I'm kind of compelled to go to Podcast Movement in Texas. But we'll see how that kind of goes. But basically, as a member of the Academy, I just kind of vote on the winners and who to win. Just like the Oscars, there's an Academy and they vote on who gets the award and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool. And big shout out to Jared and Dan, who are like kind of creating this kind of thing for podcasters to go to, and it's totally free to go to. It's just a great event for the podcasting community to come together and like celebrate each other in that way. And I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's pretty cool. A next announcement. So Omar and Nicole have launched a new podcast today.
Wow.
On Tuesday. Awesome. Called the Webinar Ninja. And so we've been seeing a lot of I've been seeing a lot of people using webinars as a means of selling. So they use a webinar, and you know what a webinar is, right?
Yeah.
So they use webinars to sell, and they're basically creating this podcast as sort of public domain of their own research because they want to make a software. And I was like, "Ooh, interesting," because I want to make a software. But anyway, they're putting their kind of like learning curve and mistakes and successes and things like that, and their research on record for everybody else who wants to listen to how to start a webinar, why, and how to use it as a means of selling their products or whatever. Because it's really crazy. How well that the webinar is converting for some people. Like I think one of the metrics was John Lee Dumas of Entrepreneur on Fire. He did webinars like 60 times last year, and that skyrocketed his sales into like millions of dollars.
That's a lot. Yeah,
it's a lot. So there's definitely a lot of power in webinars and holding webinars, and it's a great resource for you to learn from if you're thinking about incorporating webinars into your sales funnel. All right, last announcement. Sorry, there's a lot of announcements. Yeah. Okay, so lastly, VEDA is going on down in April, which is vlog every day in April or August. And it's a great thing that YouTubers kind of come together. They vlog every single day on some topic, right? And you put it up there and you engage with each other, and that's last VEDA that I participated in last August. It was super fun for me. I got to meet really cool people who I still talk to today. And now I have the pleasure of announcing that I, myself, and two other ladies who I met from VEDA will be hosting a sort of VEDA kind of the themes and stuff like that, so that other people can kind of join in with us. And I'm really excited about that. So we create the topics as a team, as YouTubers in VEDA, and we get other people to join us in our, VEDA-ness, and then we do it. And so it's another way to create community upon community upon community and help other people out. And I'm super excited about that. And I want to give a shout out to Ashley, who, invited me to do that with her. And that's really exciting. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So what questions do we have today?
All right. So we got a question right here. Go ahead, Ree.
From Bertha. This is addressing to Megan. What is your advice for young bloggers trying to gain a wide audience base?
All right. Well, I have my thoughts on it. What would be your first kind of
for young
jabs?
Bloggers to gain a wide audience base?
What do you think?
Well, I really can't refer to Facebook now that they're charging. So
what would be your kind of like, if you just started right now, like
if I started right now, if I wanted to approach to gain more audience, I would start with Instagram. And it would depend on what type of business you're doing, but I believe Instagram is a pretty cool feature in how you just take a photo of your product or what you're currently doing.
Okay.
And just hashtag the crap out of that photo, sparingly, and it relates to whatever your photo is about, and you get some reach there. And as long as you're consistent with always uploading an Instagram photo every day, then you'll gain more followers, and more followers will link to your post, and they'll be more interested into your product. And that's what I've been seeing. I've been uploading probably 2 photos every day on Instagram.
Yeah.
I was at probably 530 followers, and now I'm at 540, something like that. So I gained like 20 followers over the past 2 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me give you some context, because she reached out to me because she's starting a YouTube channel and a web series on YouTube called Love Asterisk. And so now that we have a little bit of context, and she's basically looking at the YouTube market, what would you do then as far as, building an audience from that?
Well, I'm not really familiar with the YouTube backend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have more experience with YouTube.
Okay, so what I would do with the YouTube thing, okay, so let's dissect her question a little bit. Okay, so what is your advice for young bloggers trying to gain a wide audience base? So I was kind of confused from this question because I know your background and your context. So maybe this was just a generic question. If this is not relating to your new show, I would say that young bloggers, and it kind of depends on who's young, right? We're young. Who's young? And when I think young, I'm thinking like 12. So, but that's not really, that's not really realistic.
Yeah, I think when I was young, I was blogging already on like freaking MySpace. And
I see.
those Zangas.
Okay.
Those were blogs.
Yeah, those were
back
blogs.
in the day.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, how young is your audience?
Yeah. How young is your audience? Try to figure that out. And when you're trying to gain a wide audience base, this is a very vague question. And anybody who tell you about audience building is to be as specific as you can be. Right? Because there's so much stuff out there now. You really have to be distinguishable. And how you do that is by serving a certain set of people. And once you hook those type of people, and that's why they call it, look for your niche. Once you hook those people, you can begin to kind of branch out. But otherwise, you're trying to be as specific as you can be. Otherwise, you target everybody and end up targeting nobody. Right? So I think when I was first starting out, I kind of tried to do that, or I didn't have an idea who I wanted to target yet. And so a lot of my content was too broad.
So what's her specific niche? What is she speaking about? What's her web series?
Well, I would say it's about love. It's about
love.
Relationships. It's shot on, everything is shot on an iPhone. So it's got this indie feel, I guess you could say, this low budget feel.
Okay.
What else? I try to look more into it, and a big thing that kind of stood out to me right away is when I went to your YouTube page, the YouTube branding is basically not even there. So a big thing about YouTube is do whatever you can do on that YouTube page, that YouTube channel, and brand it. So as you're trying to attract a certain audience, you want to produce or establish a brand that represents that audience, right?
Yeah. And we said it over and over again, is to have quality content on your blogs.
Yeah. Can't escape
the more
that.
you write and more in depth you write about that certain article, more people are going to view it.
But they're videos.
Well, I thought you have to transcribe those videos anyways.
You can, yeah, definitely. You can transcribe your videos, but if it's a web series, right? It's like a show. They have episodes, and it's like a show. It's like they're actresses, right? They're like trying to put on a show, but a web series.
Oh, I see.
So even though everything is shot on an iPhone, there's an incredible amount of competition there as well, that you can still make your show and the quality of your show be as outstanding as it can be. So even though you have the hook of everything is shot on an iPhone, it shouldn't be like somebody goes, oh yeah, that's definitely not shot professionally. It should be like they go watch your show and they go, that's shot on an iPhone? it looks fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what you should be kind of hearing from your audience. That's what you kind of want, instead of it being like everything's shot on an iPhone and it does look like it's shot on an iPhone, or you know what I mean? Like you want that kind of quality to come through. So as we're looking at some of the episodes, the lighting could have been better for sure.
Yeah.
Right. You don't, it doesn't have to be fancy, but if you get in contact with somebody who knows about lighting, or you educate yourself about lighting, then you guys will look a lot better, right? As well. And the quality of your show will raise a couple notches too. So what do you think? Do you think content trumps quality? What if they're incredibly funny, but the quality is crap? Would you still watch it?
Yeah, I'll still watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if I was to relate back in the day, where I was just watching a bunch of YouTube videos, not everyone had a DSLR.
But currently,
yeah. I mean, GoPro's shit, but I still watch it.
Oh, it's not. Well, yeah. In bad light, it's pretty much shit quality.
Yeah.
So yeah, lighting is all the difference that you can really take advantage of to make an iPhone shooting to make your iPhone shooting much better, right? So I can shoot a lot on this iPhone right here and have it look pretty good, as long as the lighting is right. Okay. Another thing. We talked about your branding of the YouTube channel. That could definitely use some work. I would look into somebody's channel who's got their kind of branding down. They have a featured video or a trailer that you see right away, and they have playlists. Oh, you've got to utilize the playlist. I looked at your YouTube channel, and they're just videos everywhere, scattered. So it's right away when I visit the channel, it's like I'm not directed, I'm lost. And so
some organization.
Yeah, definitely take advantage of the playlist, because then, you know, if you look at any YouTuber who is successful and they have, you know, web series and stuff like that, everything is organized, enticing you to watch more. All right. Another thing, I would also have a cool home base to come back to, a cool website to come back to.
Yeah.
So if I want to learn more about you as an actress or a person, or it's YouTube. Maybe I think you're pretty. I want to check you out, right? Have something there for your potential audience to go and check out and Google at you. And if you're an actress, you're probably going to have headshots, right? Have your headshots up there, having a nice about story about you. Where do you come from? Where's your context? You know, what's the playground that you're playing in? Why are you doing what you're doing? You got to have kind of all that so that people have something to hang on to when they visit. Otherwise, it's just, oh, that's really cool. But there's nothing to pull me in. Yeah. Right? They're reaching out if they come across your video and they go, oh, that's really cool. But if you have nothing reaching back to them, then you can't make that connection. All right. So, you could also follow the lead of celebrities. A lot of celebrities know how to use their personal brand. They know how to use their face, right?
Like Jimmy Fallon.
Yes.
He's really good. He's
everywhere.
perfect.
Yeah. He's everywhere. Look at his branding on his channel, the thumbnails that he uses. Everything makes sense, right? You know, you go, okay, late night with Jimmy Fallon. Got it. I don't know, the icon.
It's straight to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got he's created himself an icon so that you know what to expect for sure. And it entices you to watch more. Okay. Another thing is, I think I covered everything, but you know, creating, when you have that kind of cool home base to come back to, you create some cool transparency. Yeah. Also, you could do you have the web series, right? You have Meet the Creators, right? And then you have the kind of behind the scenes. Since everything is shot on an iPhone, show how that's being done. That's interesting. I would be genuinely interested in that. All right. Okay. So we answered the crap out of that question. You can ask us questions just like that wherever you find us, on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever. But we have another kind of question.
All right.
And I'll let you handle this. Let's see. So right here.
All right. This is from Daniel Peterson. I would love to see how you guys make the podcast.
Yeah. How do we do it, B?
Oh, that's the question.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
How does all this go down? You can explain everything that's going
all right.
on here.
Well, we have the 5D Mark III
Yep.
on a 16 and 35 millimeter, probably shot at 2.8, and we're shooting about 1 p.m. normally, just because that's where we're getting a lot of window light.
I'll put some B-roll in. So
how we set everything up is that we have two mics. one Audio Technica and the other one's a Heil. Other than that, we have a H4n as a recording system for voices, and we're using Audio Technica headphones just because it sounds a lot better.
Yep.
And
we have a splitter too.
Yeah, we have a splitter. We have a backdrop here.
This room separator, that's like, how many years old is this room separator?
Probably 12 years old.
12 years old.
Hey, it works.
It works, yep.
But then that's about it.
Yeah. We got a second camera over there.
Oh, I never noticed that one. But
say hi to the second camera.
Yeah. Whatever this one is, it's a Sony
NEX5T.
NEX5T.
Yeah, mirrorless.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Probably shut off already though, overheated. And then what happens after that?
So how do we make the podcast? Well, it starts with us as the podcaster. Either we have some audience that likes to ask us questions and we kind of answer all those questions, as well as provide some insight about business tips.
Yep.
And whatever people need advice on.
Yep.
And from there, after we're all done shooting the shit, Megan takes it back into her MacBook Pro, pops up Photoshop and Premiere and start cutting everything up and cutting the audio and place it together, upload it on YouTube and SoundCloud, and everything's pretty much it.
Pretty much down, B. You got it. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. So I hope we answered your question, Daniel. It's pretty systemized here over like it used to be crazy, used to be like Meh, but now I get to kind of play and experiment now that I've got the basics down. You got the second camera going, as long as it doesn't automatically shut off. And
going more into depth.
You
may have to ask Megan and how she does all the actions and everything throughout Premiere.
It's pretty, I mean, with Premiere, I just cut out anything that's kind of dead weight or doesn't add value to the show. I'll still keep things that show us as being human in front of the show and in front of the mic and stuff like that. I'm not editing like crazy. But if like I take forever to find the couple's 1, 2, 3 tag, I'll cut that out.
Or we're stumped on a question where we're like, I don't know, answer that shit. And then she cuts that part out. And
no, we've never had a moment like that.
Well, I'm
right?
just saying, like, that's something you'll cut off if you're like waiting for a while.
Well, I'm never going to edit us really hardcore because I want you guys to see that we're just speaking from our experience, which is limited, right? I'm not trying to say that we are the end all over here opinion. I want you to see that this is raw, that this is uncut. I'm only cutting out stuff that would be annoying, like a long pause. So we're going to Maui tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to Maui. Yeah, very excited. I mean, I've been needing this vacay, even though we took a vacay about several months ago, I think. Yeah. Well, every day is a vacay, but Maui is definitely a cool spot. I always like to visit every year.
Maui is very cool. And I hit up Kamanzi to, remember Kamanzi, right?
Yeah.
So he's free on a Friday and or Saturday. I'd like for us to meet up, and maybe we'll do a special Maui episode with him as like a special guest or whatever. Like it's up in the air, but I'd really like to make that connection. How cool is that? How like it just kind of lines up that we have somebody who we, want to connect with while we're going on vacation. So we're going to try to take advantage of that for sure. Yeah. And good things are going on. I'm feeling better about my talk at Podcast San Diego because I've been
reciting.
Not even reciting, but just talking on the podcast mic like every day. That's a practice. Instead of practicing once a week with you, it's every day now. So it's definitely making me better in front of the mic and not being like so that's like my worst nightmare. And I was having dreams. I was telling people on the Lab Rat Dailies, like I had a dream that like I missed my speech and I was getting anxious and making myself too nervous, man. And so everyday podcasting certainly helps, and good things coming. So for the rest of March, I'm going to be pumping you guys up for VEDA in April. If you want to participate, it's going to be super fun. You can learn about the YouTube sphere and vlogging and stuff like that. Good things. And if you're a photographer, I'm going to be at WPPI, so meet up with me. I'm at just Twitter me at Kevin Levu. Yeah, definitely. And we'll meet up at MGM Grand and go to after parties and start networking with so glamorous.
other photographers around the world. So
Oh yeah, and I also will be potentially writing for Wedding Bros, a friend of ours, his blogging thing for grooms,
Yeah.
for weddings and stuff like that. So I'm excited about that too. And yeah, it's exciting. Things are happening.
Yeah. And
New
Social
things?
Playground.
Social
So,
Playground. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're offering
Yeah. How did that go?
a hashtag printing service. So yeah, if you're ever in need within the States, within California.
When's that coming?
So that's probably coming after Maui.
Maui.
Yeah.
Oh, very soon. Okay, cool. So lots to come back to when we get back. But in the meantime, we'll have plenty of content for you guys to consume while we fish underwater. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to fish underwater.
I'm just
Best
going to
believe.
lay on the sand and snorkel. And
Yeah.
That's about it. And eat coconut shrimp.
Coconut shrimp. Yeah, you've been telling me about that. Yeah. All right, cool. So good things, guys. And we will see you tomorrow on the Lab Rat Dailies, or I will, okay? We'll be talking about, what will we be talking about? Oh, yes, a very cool special episode. Stay tuned for that. About, I'm not going to tell you. So good things. And once again, my name is Megan.
Yeah, I'm Kevin.
Reminding you to get in the lab. We're out.
We out.
That was good, B. Yeah.